Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, there it goes. Welcome to the Bold Life podcast. My name is Tracy Justice, and I am just excited to be back tonight at a new time. Okay, so I am trying out Instagram, because you can go live on Instagram as well. So I'm looking at Instagram to see what that looks like. And this is so kind of funny because there is a kind of like a time delay for Instagram. But I wanted to play the Instagram on this just to give this a test and test it out while I'm going live. But welcome to the Bold Life podcast. I am just pumped up about 2024 and about what 2024 has in store for me. Now, I don't know about you, but before we talk about the meat, but what has 2024 been like for you so far? Right? Because when I think about the things that I want to do in 2024, and I think about the things that, I didn't quite accomplish in 2023, I am so ready. I'm so ready to move forward. And this podcast is one of those things, right? The Bold Life podcast. Why did I start doing this? Let's talk about why I started doing this first, so we can have an idea, so I can give y'all an idea of what this is about. Wanted to create a community where we normalize, that it's okay to take a chance, right? It's okay to, okay, thank you so much, Milkwish. So I'm trying Instagram today for the first time. So it's kind of a delay. So, and I'm noticing that, but super cool. Thank you so much for joining. But giving ourselves, just trying to do different things in 2024. And so this year, what I've been doing is challenging myself, to create a community, or to put myself out there and be an example, and create a community around being okay with taking a chance on ourselves, right? And being okay with it not having to be perfect when we first start out, right? Just being okay with just taking that step and not looking for that validation from others. Right. And here's the thing, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't look for that, because I totally believe in peer groups and having support systems. Right. However, what if that peer group, that support system does not come? What will you do then? And what I've decided for myself is that I could not wait to sit around and wait for somebody to come and say, Tracy, you should do this. Tracy, we're going to give you a chance. So I decided that I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to normalize this, because I know that there's other people out there who want to try different things, try new things, but you're afraid to do it because you're afraid that you're going to be embarrassed. You're afraid you're going to make a mistake. You're afraid people are going to question you and say, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. And the bold life is about taking that step, right? Just making that bold move and just taking a chance on yourself, right? Instead of expecting others to, believe in ourselves, letting ourselves be the first ones to believe in ourselves first, right? Okay. I am just thirsty. And it's so funny because, talking about bold moves, it took me something to get on here solo, right? Because I had decided that, at one point, it's fun having guests on the show, right? Because you have somebody to have a conversation with. However, I know that wasn't, sometimes that's not always going to be the case, right? And what I don't want to do is hold myself back and give myself a reason, right? Because we're talking about today, the blocks that get in our way tend to be the ones that we carry, right? And what I did not want to do is to use that as a stumbling block, right? Like, I can't do my show, I can't do my podcast because I don't have a guest or I don't have a speaker. And so I decided that, it's about bold moves. It's about seeing where this is going to go, because I know that I've been called to do this, but exactly how that's going to play out, I'm not sure. But I've got to take a chance, because I'm not really in it just to be, I definitely want to become successful, wealthy, but definitely I'm in it for the experience, right? Because it's all about the experience. Once we have the experience sets the foundation for us to truly grow. You can't grow from just simply thinking about things. You got to get out and actually do it, right? And so before I get into the blocks that we carry and just really talk about, the message that, that I want to talk about what that means and how we can take ownership, right? Because we're thinking about 2024 and we're thinking about the goals that we have for ourselves. Um, we've got to think about it now, right? Like and you've got to be intentional about the foundation that we set for ourselves, right? And so, but before I do that, oh goodness gracious, I did not. I wanted to talk about some of the things that I'm doing as well, because it's well, oh, okay. I didn't think that I was going to get it quite on right away, but okay, since it's there, it's fine. But it's funny because I usually when I go to networking events, I don't tend to go thinking about how I can find people to I guess I don't think about promoting my business necessarily at first. The first thing that I'm thinking about is maybe I'm thinking about, what are people doing and how are people connecting, what's going on, just really getting to know people. And so typically when I get this question, I don't really give an answer quite yet, because I don't have anything. And then, and I haven't found a quite succinct way to explain it. So, but I wanted to share that here and give myself an opportunity to promo myself, right? So I have some of the things that I'm doing. So the first thing that I'm doing is called the Bold Ideas, the Think Tank Workshop Experience. And so this is an opportunity to create dialogue. And that's really truly what this is about, right? So it's inclusion. We talk about inclusion, diversity, equity versus equality, accessibility, allyship, advocacy, and there's a story that I have with that, but this is not for that. But I definitely just wanted to kind of give some tidbits, just drop some things, and if you're interested, definitely reach out. But self-awareness and storytelling. Right. And really, that self-awareness and storytelling, I think, is really key. And that's that piece that I really, really love so much, is how do we get to a place where we all just become self-aware? Right. We don't need people to point fingers and say, you need to do this, but how do we all just take ownership of where we need to be, how we need to be, and just kind of do that for ourselves? And then storytelling, how do we tell the story of where our truths, right? And how do we create a space where people can come together and really have those deep conversations? And so if you're thinking about where how could this be useful in what you do in your business, this is definitely a perfect workshop before planning what you're going to do for the year, right? Especially with your leaders, your leaders who you need to ensure that you have buy-in when it comes to creating an inclusive culture. Sometimes we don't want to assume that, when I say inclusive, another person may say inclusive, and we mean totally two different things, right? So how do we get everybody on the same page, and how do we create a dialogue, a safe space for dialogue? And so that's the workshop. If you're interested in that, definitely reach out for that. And then the 12 phases to performance management prowess. I just love this because sometimes I just like to get a little, if you know about my BS check-in, I love to have a play with words, right? And so my 12 phases to performance management prowess is 12 P's. I have a 12-step process, which all begin with the letter P, and just and how you can implement a culture that implements skills-based strategies, and then a performance management process to support that skills-based, right? Because we know that the workforce is changing, so it's not necessarily looking for somebody who has maybe a degree, or maybe has experience doing a particular job, but maybe learning how to reach people by skill sets, and then learning how to expand your pool of candidates, right? And so if you want to learn about that, you can definitely reach out to me about that. And then I also have a network you can join. I think it's just a great opportunity for when I start sending out stuff. I am not somebody who sends out a lot of stuff, and I haven't started yet. However, if you want to get on this list and learn about some of the programs that I have going on, and you want to be one of the first people to know, definitely join the network. I like to call it the Bold Spaces Think Tank Network, right? Eventually, what's my dream here? My dream is to get professional people together, small to mid-sized business owners who are looking to solve problems. However, sometimes we have the wisdom within, our network, but we're just not asking the right questions, right? And so how can we get a space together? And I'd love to help facilitate and bring those spaces together. And so those are the type of things that I'm doing, right? And so I just wanted to talk about the things that I'm doing real quick, because I tend to not do that. And and so I definitely want to do that, because I'm always talking about be bold. And you've got to self promote yourself, because if you don't promote yourself, who will? Right? Okay. So, and I also have my notes to make sure that I don't just keep rambling on, but this feels good, right? When you think about the goals that you have for yourself, oh my gosh, I just gotta, and this is just keeping it real. This is what happens when it's live, and I just can't. I can't. But anyways, but you know what? This is just really great, right? I'm just really pumped up, because I really was nervous, just to get back out and just kind of do this solo. And I'm just happy. You're right. Because in 2024, we got to really start celebrating ourselves for taking a chance on ourselves, because if you don't, who will? Right. And so, okay. So we talked about, okay, let's see. So let's talk about the blocks that get in our way, right? Like, so when we think about, the goals that we've set for ourselves, and then we look at the progress that we've made from it, sometimes it can, be disheartening, right? Because sometimes we're just like, maybe, that self-talk starts to come in, and then we have to start to find a way to navigate that negative self-talk. But, it can just be a bit disheartening. So how can we normalize that everybody has struggles when they're trying to reach their goals? Like, that is a normal thing, right? And most of the time, people that we see that are already successful and already have their stuff together have been doing it a long time, right? Like, I am a complete, I'm new at this. Like, maybe not as new, but I'm in the newer stages, right? And I guess for me, I think it was important for me to share. It's important for me to share this part of this stage, is because sometimes we see people and their fully established self, and then we feel even more discouraged when we have like things that we want to do, because now we start to think, well, maybe I can't do it because I'm not like that person. And no, it's normal. We all struggle. We all struggle to make those, to really hit those goals the way that we need to, right? So we all struggle. So that's normal. But what's important is what we do next after that, right? Like, okay, it's normal. Okay, so now that you know that you are struggling, what are you doing about it? That's a question for you to answer. Like, now that you know you are struggling, and you have admitted to yourself that you can't maybe stick to that diet, or maybe, it's hard to stay consistent with your journal, whatever it is. Now that you've admitted that to yourself, what are you doing? What are you doing to fix that? And I think that, and that's the space that I like to really dwell on today, because some of the things that we think that, other people are in our way, or maybe other people are not supporting us the way that we expect them to. We're not getting the kudos that we thought we should have had or could have had. And sometimes, sometimes it's because you're not even giving the kudos to yourself. It's like we want other people to be that first person in our lives to give us that kudos, to say, you can do it, you got this, when we need to be that first one, right? Like, and the reason why I started this, or I started my business, Be Bold, Be You, right? It's because I realized that, I keep wanting people to look at me and say, Tracy, you're great at this and you're great at that. And I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting opportunities, because, we all know that, when you want to grow, especially at a job, you've got to have experience, and somebody has to take a chance on you. Somebody has got to say, come here, right? For you to have that experience. But, and I totally get that. But my struggle was, well, what if nobody comes out for me? Like, I'm getting too old to be sitting around waiting for somebody. Right? Like, I'm just getting way too old sitting around waiting for somebody who might never come. And it finally dawned on me. And it's just crazy how it happens that way. But it was like the Lord said, you are that person. And that's where Be Bold, Be You, was born. But it was like, I don't know, it hit me. And I was just like, oh, My problem is that I don't believe in myself. And it was just like, no, that was my block, right? That was my block. Let me put that out there. The blocks that get in our way. That was my block. I was getting in my own way. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have, external like, people that, will try to gatekeep, who will try to, I'm not saying that, because I know that there's this drama, politics stuff that goes on, and I totally get that. But sometimes you have to really ask yourself, is that way that seems to be holding you down, is that the only way? Or is that the only way you're willing to take? And because you can't get it that way, you won't go on with your dreams. I mean, I smile when I say that, because you know what, that's when it hit me, because I was just like, are you really not going to do what you really feel in your heart called to do? Because you won't believe in yourself? Like, who am I going to blame for that? I can't blame the old dude or some chick or the lady. I can't blame nobody but me if I don't go on and believe in myself and do the things that I need to do. Now, I'm not saying that you go out and do things and you don't know what you're doing and you just go out and do it recklessly. No, but I'm saying, like, you have an idea, create the skeleton, kind of have an idea of what you're trying to go out and do, and just start going out and doing it. Because you know what I realized? I realized that I wasted so much time planning out things and trying to fine tune things. And, I just kept trying to just kind of do all this little extra stuff. And what I started realizing is that I was wasting time on just nonsense, not focused on what it is that I'm trying to do, right? And at the end of the day, we need experiences. You need the experience, because you won't know what you need to do better until you go out and do it. I'm going to say that again. You won't know what you need to do better until you go out and just do it. And then you can come back and just start to look at what you did. And then you can ask yourself, okay, did I do that right? How did it feel? What did I like about it? What I did not like about it? But we've got to take a chance on ourselves. And the fact that sometimes people won't come and hold our hands or cheer us on or say kudos or nothing doesn't mean anything. Like yesterday, I am, I laugh because I am part of so many different groups, but I definitely want to give, shout outs to all the different groups that I'm a part of, as I do different things, because, it's a part of who I am, right? Like, and so, I want to give a shout out to Nabo, Indianapolis. We had our Val event yesterday. I am a premier member there with Nambo. And so, but we had Gwendolyn Rogers there, and she was talking about the cake bake shop. And, and I had never heard about the cake bake shop, and I am definitely going to have to go check it out, because I mean, it just sounds, delicious. But I just loved what she talked about. And she just talked about how, how people think about you, what people think about you, what people have to say about you and your business ideas, or whatever ideas that that you feel that you're called in your heart to do. It is none of your business what they think about you. It's none of your business. And I think a lot of us, we get caught up in other people's business. If somebody doesn't like me, I pray for everybody. But it is what it is. And I loved how she said that, because she said it so unapologetically. And I was just like, go ahead, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, go ahead. Because, and it just confirmed what the Bold Life journey is for me. This is a journey for life. That, is everything always going to be figured out? Is everything always going to be the way that I want it to be? No. But you know what? I'm going to be bold about everything that I want to do. I'm going to believe in myself. I'm just going to have to. And then I believe that the more I believe in myself, I'm going to create this energy around me where, other people will really believe in me, right? Like, I just really think that it really starts with us. It really starts with us at our core, right? Like, and, I'm not trying to get all woo-wee about it, but like when I thought about the values that, that I was going to use to anchor how I really think about this journey, right? Because for me, this is not just, oh, the Bold Life podcast. Like, it really is me really walking and talking this life, and just being able to really truly walk this life and encourage others who want to walk this life and be like, let's walk this life bold together, right? Like, that's what I'm trying to be on. And you know what, I just got all excited with that. I totally forgot what what I wanted to say with that whole life. But it's really just about taking a chance on ourselves and just knowing that, what, we won't know until we go, right? And I also, Gwendolyn Rogers, just talking about Gwendolyn Rogers. I know, you know what, and I do that. I go back to forth, and like we sitting around and talking, okay? And so, but really, Gwendolyn Rogers, she really was inspirational, and I just really loved her story because, I mean, it was just the stuff that she did, and what she was willing to do for her business just showed me that you know what, she was bold. She was bold because she knew what she wanted and she went after it. And you know what? But what I really loved about what I learned from Gwendolyn Rogers is that, man, it's really about being in alignment with your true purpose, right? Because she knew exactly, because I guess and this is like a perfect segue to when to looking at those success indicators. Like, what are you truly measuring to make sure that you're really doing what you need to be doing, right? Because for Mrs. Gwendolyn Rogers, her main goal was to get those cakes in front of people. Like, that was her thing. How do I get these cakes in front of people? And she stayed focused on that. Her focus wasn't on, of course it was profit and all these other stuff, but the main purpose, that main goal was, how do I stay in front of people? How do I stay in front of people? And she stayed focused on that. And so everything that she did, she moved with purpose. It was all about, how do I make sure I get these cakes in front of people? And she stayed focused on that. And because of that, look at where she's at. She's on her way to Disney World. You know what I mean? And we're praying that the Lord blesses her and blesses many people that are going to be employed by her, but it just shows you that, you got to be the first person that believes in yourself. Because I'm telling you, there is a shortage of believers out here. I mean, if you're looking for somebody to believe in you, honey, you're going to be waiting for a long time because there's a shortage out there. You've got to believe in yourself. You got to be the first person. And I just believe that, it's inevitable that the more and more you believe in yourself and the more and more you pour this love into yourself, the more and more, you're just going to find people that are just resonating on that same vibe with you, and they feel you on that. Now I remember what I was going to talk about were the values that I use to follow, because really I had to start with love, right? So it's love. My 4 values that, I just really associate with the Bold Life, just the Bold Life journey, is love, clarity, competence, and confidence. Love, clarity, competence, confidence, right? So it's really about loving yourself first, right? Because here's the thing, you're going to make mistakes as you're going on this path. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be doing everything the way that it's supposed to be, but it's okay. But I'm telling you, the first time that it happens, it's gonna hurt, because especially if you're a perfectionist, you don't like making mistakes, and so that first time you make a mistake, it's gonna hurt. And but that's why I say, like, love is that first value that's so important, because it's nurturing, because it reminds you that, what, love yourself. It's okay. At least you tried. Right. So it's just being able to really get centered in love. Right. Because I'm talking about real change. I'm not talking about transactional talk change, like, that fake stuff that people talk about, like, oh, I really want change, but they really don't want change. I'm not talking about that real. I'm talking about truly deep transformational. I'm sorry, it's going to have to start with love, because if love is not the foundation of that, I'm sorry, it just won't truly stick and happen. Right? So love is that first one. That second one is clarity. You got to get clear about what it is that you want. Do you know what you want? Do you know what you want in this life? Do you know what you're going after? Or are you everywhere? Are you really, really focused about the type of life that you really want for yourself? And are you willing to commit to the work that is necessary to commit that for yourself, to do that for yourself? Right. And it's about really getting clear about what it is that you want in your life. Because I had to really think about it. Like, do I want a life where all I'm doing is just going to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? That's what I'm doing every day. Like, is that the life that I want? And I realized, like, no, and I knew that before I even left, my job. I knew that, I was just like, man, this 9 to 5 stuff is really, that's tough. I don't like feeling like somebody's got a handcuff around me. Like, that just bothers me, right? And right. And so I had to really, get clear about what it was that I really wanted. And I realized that that wasn't for me. And here's the thing. It's not always clear what it is that you want, but you start to get this feeling, you start to get clearer as you start moving in that direction. Right? Because like I said, you've got to take that step and you've got to move forward so that you can really get clear about what it is. But you'll see that the clarity will come more and more and more. And then that confidence will come because you keep testing it out, right? You keep trying, you keep practicing, you keep putting yourself out there. That confidence is going to come. You're going to get really good at it. And before you know it, you'll become an expert. You'll become very skilled at it. But you've got to at least take that first step and start moving in that direction, right? Before it can happen, right? And then that confidence is something that just will come because it'll just be natural, because you're just going to be accustomed to taking chances on yourself, right? And you're going to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and then you're going to be able to find that certain level of confidence where people will just be like, oh my God, you seem like, you got this together, when really it's learning how to get comfortable with being so uncomfortable, right? Because entrepreneurship is just not for the faint of heart. I mean, I say that over and over and over again, but I mean, I think we got to normalize that. Like, entrepreneurship sometimes can be stressful because, because, it's just different things out there, different ways to do things. And you really have to get out there so many different times until you just kind of find that right thing, right? And you've got to be okay with that, right? And so, that is, and those are the values that I use to help me, stay focused on moving forward, right? Because moving forward sometimes isn't easy, and that's okay. But what are you doing with that when you know that you're not able to move forward, right? And then being aware of what those success, what type of experience, what type of success, what type of goal are you looking for yourself? Right? Do you know what it is that, you really want to experience? What do you really want? Right? How are you finding out? How are you clarifying? How do you know for yourself that you're doing the things that you want to do and you're doing it the way that you want to do it? Right? And just really getting clear about those things for yourself. Right? Man, I just really think about where I was in 2022. I mean, honestly, I just think back to, just the blocks that really got me and just where I'm at today. Right. And I just really want to honor that. Why? Because that experience, this opportunity just to kind of think about where I was in 2020, golly, we're in 2024. So it was 2022, where I was in 2022, as far as the comfort level. Now, don't get me wrong, the jitters are still there sometimes, right? But when I think about that, I celebrate that. And it's just funny because the first year I spent just really trying to plan out this, and just to really see how much quicker, I'm moving farther along. And, and I only say this that I hope to inspire just somebody else to just take a chance on yourself, on your dream, and do something different. Because I truly do believe that if you felt that urge and that unction to do something, then I truly do believe that is divinely put there. So how do you really execute that and really believe in yourself, really find a way to push through that negative speak, that negative talk. So if I were to give you an assignment, right? Give you a journal assignment, give you an opportunity to think about, to really think about this, right? To really think about your goals. What I would ask you to do is think about what it is that you really, really, really want to do in 2024. And just one thing. And the reason why I say one thing is because when you start to think about all of the different things that you want to do, it can become overwhelming, right? But think about the number one thing that you want to accomplish in 2024 that you feel will help you soar in 2024. And then I really want you to, and then when you really are clear about what it is that you're trying to do, I really want you to just really sit back and maybe wait a day or two, and then look at that same thing that you want to do and really ask yourself, what's stopping you? What's blocking you from really moving forward and really accomplishing that goal for yourself? And really, keep it real. Keep it real for yourself. Keep it real for yourself and see how that works for you. And so I definitely want to, because how I create this podcast and how I do it is that it's funny because sometimes you really have to know how you work and how you do things and make sure that you really play to those things and really, and like I said, you really have to start doing things so you can really have an understanding of what it is that you like. And what I realize is that for the podcast, I just like to just talk, right? Because it's just more conversational. And the planning for the podcast can be a little stressful, right? And the reason why I say that is because I'm actually going to get ready to end the show. But, I do want to leave you with that, and I challenge you. I Bold Move Challenge 24. If you want to talk about it, if you want to reach out and just really have a better understanding of what's blocking you and get a better sense of what that is, definitely do not hesitate to reach out because that is what I'm here for. And I just want to say thank you for watching the Bold Life podcast. I'm definitely looking to grow my show and grow my viewership. And so if you can definitely share, comment, subscribe, I would definitely love that. And if you're looking to be a speaker, if you're looking to be a guest on the show, definitely reach out. So until then, I will meet you back here 6:30 next Thursday, because like I said, I am going to stay true to that and, keep that up and really build that momentum and see where that goes. And so I will see you then. And my favorite quote that I love to share, that the bold life belongs to everyone. However, only the bold, oh my gosh, why do I do that? The bold life belongs to everyone. However, only the bold, oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I'm going to end it right there because that's too much. All right. Well, you have a wonderful evening. Bye.